Hello, my fellow Tenno. This is Mork Zero, here with a special little treat, the alpha test version of Warframe Armistice era. This is a game I'm sort of working on just for the community, for those of you who haven't been following the, two threads I have on the thing by now. Little tabletop RPG that my fellow friends here are helping me test out, and, when it's all said and done, I plan on releasing it. Whoever wants to use it, use it. If you guys want to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of an introduction, to some extent, just give your name, give everything about Warframe, maybe.
Oh, hey, I'm Jad. I'm playing Zakin Base today, the lone corpus amongst the Grunier.
Keen?
Hello, my name's Kim. My nickname in game is Kim211. I've been playing Warframe ever since the Founders original. And today I'll be playing the Grunier Driek, Inquisitor Driek.
And last but not least...
I'm Stigmergy on Warframe. I'll be playing Grudovan, this heavy gunner Grunier. Warbros number 1.
Oh my god. So yeah. So I'm just going to for all of you watching the stream, I'm going to just read off a bit of an abridged version of the introduction that I wrote for this, and give you a sense of exactly how this whole thing is set up. And we're just going to sort of move around their icons on the screen while I do, in order to entertain you all. Though the Gruniers, wrong one. In the far-flung future, long gone are all traces of any modern civilization. From humanity's future, the great Oricon Empire was founded. This empire spanned the whole of the solar system, known since those times as Origin, and united all of humanity together under a single banner, new traditions, and a period of scientific progress that resulted in technologies once thought just the stuff of dreams. The Oricon stood unrivaled by any, until the Old War. The Oricon Empire found itself faced with a race of creatures known as the Sentients. The details of the war are sparse, but a few facts are known. The Oricon were unable to hold back the Sentients on their own, and were nearly defeated. They unleashed warrior gods known as the Tenno, who turned the tide of battle and brought the sentient threat to heel. And when the war had reached its culmination, the Tenno betrayed the Oricon, destroyed their empire, and vanished into the void of time. It is from the wake of this betrayal and the collapse of the Oricon Empire that the Origin system slowly became what it is today. Technology fell into a dark age. The scattered remains of the Oricon people gave up on their traditions and even their name, and between the march of time and the great plague that ravaged the colonies before its sudden disappearance, Origin no longer even resembles what it once was. From the smoldering embers of the collapse, two factions have risen to rule the system, the Grunier Empire and the Corpus Corporation. But they do not enjoy the other's company. The Grunier barely tolerate the Corpus because of their need for the corporation's expertise in long-forgotten and lost Oricon technology. And the Corpus are resentful of the Grunier for the history of atrocities the Empire has committed in the pasts of those who founded their organization. It is only through the faintest, but most dire of needs that the Corpus have been allowed to become what they are, and through the fear of retaliation that the Grunier stand widely unopposed by them. In an era of fragile cooperation between the oppressive Empire and the covetous corporation, tensions run high. Conflicts between the two factions happen and are quickly ignored in favor of maintaining mutual trade and assistance, and each side is wary of its supposed ally. This is where your story begins. And with that, let's start some new character introductions here. Let's start with Stigmergy and Grudovan, if you want to go ahead and introduce us to your character.
There's not much to her. She is particularly healthy for a Grunier. as a result, people kind of overestimated her and held her to unrealistic standards. What have I got here written down? I mean, she's a pretty standard heavy gunner. There's not a lot going on yet. I prefer to play her out and see what happens with her.
Okay, in that case, I've just got a few questions for that. What will you sacrifice for the Queens and the Empire?
And whatever I have to.
And how do you see the non-Grenier of origin?
They're soft. I don't know.
No, that works fine. If you don't got anything else, that works fine. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy-paste through TeamSpeak a few bonds for your character. What these are, for those watching, are they're essentially a little sort of role-play system that's in the game. What they are connections between one character and another. For example, one of a bond might be blank has my attention, and it's at the choice of the player to determine which of these fellow two compatriots will fill in that blank, and from that point that will inform a bit of the relationship between those characters. And should at any point a bond be resolved in a manner, then both players will receive a certain amount of experience points, and at the start of the next session a new bond will be chosen, and which can relate to any player. You can have two bonds with the same player if you want. And with that said, let's see which bonds you want to apply to who. Just pick two of the three I sent you and apply one to Sarkin and one to Dryak.
I don't know anything about them.
Oh, no. These bonds don't... They're not so much having to do with, like, previous backstory you have with the character. They're more like sort of impressions and opinions, just generally on the guys.
But I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I guess we could do our introductions, then he can decide on
okay.
the bonds if he wants.
That makes sense, man. And in that case, let's just move on down to King.
All right. The name of my character is Meyer Driek. He was a former Grenier rebel. He was born without the gene that made him follow the Queens. So he was condemned to be executed, but he eventually got saved and mid-execution. So he was bound to be executed by Adarax, which is the Grenier Soul Whip.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Metal.
So in the middle of the execution, he was saved, and because of his resolve, he was unwielding at the face of the executor. So eventually, he joined the Vorian Armada, and from there he came to a realization that was that his loyalty, even though his loyalty didn't belong to the Queens, his loyalty lies with his brothers. So he eventually came to appreciate the fellowship of the Grenier, even if he wasn't loyal to the Queens.
All right.
And that's pretty much it.
All right. So, what will you sacrifice for, in this case, just the Empire?
Yeah, for the Empire, pretty much everything. He isn't much. He's more of a lawful neutral kind of guy. He doesn't care too much about himself, but he will uphold the law of the land.
All right. And for those watching, Dryak is a Grenier Inquisitor, and for what that is, those are a brand of Grenier. It's a sort of a sect of Grenier that is instructed to find Oricon technology and keep it pretty much away from the enemies of the Empire by any means possible. So, how do you deal with Oricon artifacts that you find?
Keep it. Don't be distracted by me.
Eye lasers.
You... Did you answer, or...?
I don't...
Okay.
Hard to think of a bond for him, because he's clearly able to be trusted, not soft experience particularly.
Well, he was a traitor at one point, so I don't know.
I guess.
Did you, Akeem, did you answer the second question I posed, or did I miss that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I guess my
sorry.
internet lagged out.
What do you do with the Oricon artifacts you find? Some Inquisitors flat out destroy them as the Queens would want, others, such as Vor, hold on to them and use their power to further the goals of the Empire.
Depends on what he finds. If he can use it, he will probably take it for himself, but if it is a threat to the Empire, he will most definitely destroy it. He doesn't, he's not too power hungry.
Alright, that's a good answer. And lastly, we have... Hold on a moment, I need to pronounce in your head how to say your name, because I've been reading it as the Jared Man for way too long.
Just call me Chad.
Okay, just Jad. Lastly, we have Jad. Who are you?
Okay, hi. So I'm playing Sarkin Bays. He's a Corpus infiltrator for the Black Seed faction, who in this time period are still a part of the Corpus. So he's a shady guy working for a shady organization. He's not as interested in profit as your regular Corpus. He gets his kicks out of his job, which involves being sneaky and shooting people in the head from a great distance.
Right. And as Jad said, with the Black Seed is characterized by a lack of interest in profit, but how does Sarkin see the Void? Some Corpus...
Interesting one.
Yeah, some Corpus sort of revere the Void as, like, hailing from the old Oricon reverence of it. Some ignore in pursuit of their own goals. What is,
Yeah.
The latter?
Sarkin's place on that spectrum is that he's very interested in... He lives in the moment. He's not so concerned about the nature of the Void.
Okay. And, how do you see those Corpus who seek the pursuit of profit? Sort of your...
He sort of places himself above them.
Okay. I actually do have one final question for you, since I didn't really say anything about it on your character sheet and didn't really bring it up here. But how did Sarkin join the corporation? Was he born into it like some, or was he more just a one of the recruits from the colonies that went through the indoctrination temples?
He's a colonist.
Okay.
He doesn't remember where he came from, naturally.
Yep, that's pretty much how that is how the Corpus do. Alright then, with that information, I think we can roll back on over to the bonds and start back up with with Root of On. If you just want to read out the 3 I gave you for everyone, and then
So where are they?
I'm talking to
Where should I left?
Stig's still here, right?
Oh, so you just gave them to him?
Yeah, just here. Yeah, first want to read out the
cool.
bonds I sent to you for everyone, and then pick one to assign to each of the guys.
Okay. Blank lacks experience, but I will take them under my wing. Blank cannot be trusted, or blank is soft, but I will make them hard, like me. Specifically physical brothers.
Yeah.
So I'm... At first glance, I mean, Corpus just bait in general cannot be trusted, so that's what I got for Sarkin. And Driak is an Inquisitor, so I guess he's soft. At first glance.
Alright. Okay, that's good.
Just a treasure hunter.
Alright, next I'm throwing Keen.
Okay.
Keen, if you want to read those out for everyone. And then pick two.
Alright, so first one is... blank is my comrade in arms. I protect him with my life. And I'm sorry, I read it on the wrong order. First is,
No problem. No
blank
problem.
has ancient knowledge about the Oricon, and I must find what they know. And 3 is blank knows of my rebellious past. I must convince them I've changed. Let me see.
And for the just as I know here, for the example of something like 1, that it would be a talk between you two about what exactly it is the character in question knows about the Oricon that Drag doesn't and is trying to get information on.
Yeah. Let me see. I guess I'll go with number 2. Gruda is my comrade in arms. I will protect him with my life. And yeah, 1 would be Sarkin has ancient knowledge about the Oricon. I must find what they know. I believe that he has this knowledge.
All right, and that'll be between you and Jad to figure out exactly what it is that Sarkin knows that Draic is trying to pry out of him. And
All right.
yep. And lastly, we have the 3 bonds. God, I hope I copied those. Accidentally pressed C. That's 3 bonds for... Yes! Yep, there we are. I have 3 bonds for Sarkin.
Yes. I've got so many chances to look. Alright, blank will be of use to me in the future. Blank is a secret and I know what it is. Blank doubts my abilities, I will prove them wrong. Alright, so firstly, who is it who thinks I'm soft? Go on, just... let's get it out there.
That's me.
That's you. So, what's your character again? You Gruda or Mayor?
Gruda.
Okay, so, you doubt my abilities, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang on a second, I'm making my notes. Okay, so I know what it is. Oh, so I've got 3 of them, and I've got to assign them to 2 characters.
Yeah, you
Okay.
pick 2 of them and assign them to one of your comrades each.
Okay, so yes, the other 2 we have blank is a secret, and I know what it is. And yeah, I think both of the others are going for Draic, since that sort of meshes with that Oricon knowledge.
So, which of those 2 are you going to be assigning to Draic?
Both of them, since we've got
no, you pick
3 bonds and two characters.
No, you pick 2 of the 3 and then assign one each, one of the others.
Oh, okay, right. Then Draic will be of use to me in the future.
All right, that should be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Okay, yeah, that about sets everything up as far as this all goes. There's also going to be goals that we're going to be dealing with at a later point, but for the time being, I'm going to leave those be. And with that, let us introduce the setting. Though the Greniers sold Mars off to the Corpus some time ago, they have been able to hold on to a number of sectors on the planet where they have set up barracks and other militarized operations, all operated by the I looked this word up, I still can't pronounce it. constabulary. Thank you. God. That is the most obscure word I could have picked for that. All operated by the Air de Constabulary, from which they help monitor the whole of the subsystem and dominate the colonists that also live there. The rule in these areas is absolute, and although it is known the Corpus desire to force them off-world completely and take Mars fully from themselves, the corporation leaves them be. However, for the last few cycles, Area Shuk's-Chi in the Hellas sector has been reporting ever-increasing terrorist activities, and recently these reports have exploded out of any previously documented proportion. Flat-out attacks against the Grineer by a so far unidentified syndicate, and waves of mysterious and unaccountable disappearances amongst the colonist population have become commonplace. The local Grineer overseer, Captain Veril Four, has been trying to handle the situation, but so far has proven himself unable to keep it under control. To make matters worse, the Corpus Board has deemed the situation a threat to their own operations on Mars, and have declared an ultimatum. If the Grineer cannot control hostile forces inside their territory, then they will move in and take control of the area to handle it themselves. The Grineer Soul Council fears that if they do this, it will lead to a chain reaction of similar forced acquisitions of the remaining Grineer territories across Mars, and so they have taken action. Councillor Venkra Klim has dispatched a pair of Grineer to see to it that the Empire's power in this area is maintained. They are instructed to find the source of the disturbances and eliminate it, with or without Veril Four's aid. Of course, with the Corpus Board claiming to have a stake in this as well, the corporation has insisted that their own representatives be present in order to make sure the efforts of the Grineer Council are earnest and are not a ruse to fortify the area against them. Much to the Board's chagrin, however, the Black Seed has pulled some of its own people in the area as well, their own attempts to help keep the peace between the Empire and Corporation. The Board would like to stop this, but Seed Representative Yolan To has leveraged influence to keep them where they are. The Grineer seek to regain control over the area, the Corpus seek to take it for themselves, and both are out to stop the Syndicate causing these problems from spreading their influence further. And with that, let us go. Ow. Well, as the scene opens up, you three are in a landing craft heading down towards Area Shuk's-Chi. There's no windows or anything to look out of, but there is a holographic projection of the area on display in front of you. Area Shuk's-Chi is built into a cliff rise overlooking the colonist housing complexes some distance below. It contains barracks accommodations for much more than the number of soldiers currently stationed there, and an armory is present above ground. However, it is caped under heavy guard. The basic shape of the installation is an uninspired round building, typical Grineer architecture, extremely asymmetrical, bulbous, hideous compared to the sort of archaic and very much ancient Oricon-style settlements below. Well, I say Oricon-style, it's mostly just carved out of the rocks below. Perhaps even more ancient than the Oricon themselves. In the center of Area Shuk's-Chi is a courtyard with a small landing pad. It's not designed for mass troop transport. And underneath it, built deep within the mountain itself, are where the personnel housing units are located. Again, far more than for the decent number of troops currently there. The colonist locale itself, below in not quite a valley, but more a plain underneath the cliff, is divided into numerous layers. They have their populations distributed evenly throughout, maybe around 300 colonists each, but the lower the level you descend, the more polluted and dystopic the conditions are due to waste dumping, largely from the Grineer, but also contributed to by the other colonists. of course, these are labeled typically, A1, B3, depending on which level and which of the districts around it you're currently in. Also in the intel you provided, it is known that Corpus and other black market merchants can be littered throughout the colonist sections. And although Grenier enforcement polices their markets substantially to ensure nothing too dangerous gets into the hand of the colonists, they are otherwise allowed to go about their business. And as you all finish going over this information, looking over it maybe for second, third time, depending on your own personal interest, the landing craft collapses into a rather rough touchdown on a fairly uneven landing pad below, and the back of the craft opens to let actually colder air compared to the inside of the landing craft blow in against you. Do you want to move out of the landing craft, or what will you do at this point?
What are you talking about? I just got comfortable in here. Don't want to go out and do things.
Gruda,
the three of us are already together?
Yes,
I assume?
yeah, all three of you met about in orbit. It was determined between Corpus and Blackseed and Grenier officials that, well, the Councilor Venkra Klim's people and the Black Seed representative would go down before. The Corpus, already having a stake on the planet, already sent their personnel ahead. You don't know his name, however. You only
Alright,
know
we have orders to
of Captain
take.
Gary 4. Okay, so,
well,
Random documents and all the iron logs.
sorry, that's my phone. So
what is that?
What the hell?
Okay.
You're making a comment on the state of the game. But
What's
no,
that?
we haven't
Alright,
gotten there yet.
so...
No, carry on. Ignore me.
what do you guys do? The landing craft's open. It's the air from outside. It's not cool, but compared to what you guys experienced coming in on orbits, none of you are harmed, of course. It's a Grenier ship. It works, but it's not comfortable. The interior is starting to cool off a little bit, so are you going to head out, or just sort of linger a little bit more?
Somebody close the door. It's letting a draft in.
Well,
All right.
Gruda hoists a big old Gorgon over her back and just heads out. But if he stops her, I don't know.
Well, I've got my feet up on the seats right now. I just
Alright,
watch
so,
you go by, then just.
I'm sorry, go on.
So you're just walking by me without a word.
Yeah, I eye you from while I'm going down the ramp, and I like put my hand behind my cloak and just like grab my void key cautiously, preparing for anything. So I walk down the ramp, and while I'm walking down the ramp, I turn and say, "So apparently the corpus have been here already. We better get to investigating."
Right. Starkin rolls his shoulders and stands up.
Right, so,
All right, so
I look
we
you're... Okay, so
we are in the colony right now.
Repeat that?
I'm sorry, we are in the colony right now.
No, I'm good.
No, in the colony. Sorry,
Oh, yes, you've stepped out
my
your...
English is a bit rusty, so
Yeah, sorry, I'm not quite hearing, I didn't quite hear that right. So yeah, you've all stepped out of the transport now. You're in the middle of area shucked cheese, courtyard slash landing pad. To your left and right, you've got a... what it looks to be like actually the full extent of the local area constabulary forces drilling out there. minus, minus a few that would need to be run certain posts throughout the base itself. There's about, maybe roughly 50 soldiers in total. This is not a large base. This was not meant to be like, Grudavon may have been in larger places than this before. This is a very small compared to like the average Grineer military installation. And while you guys are stepping out,
I'm sorry. There's a bit of a delay between when I talk and the voice gets so. So I'm sorry if I say something late and interrupt you guys.
Oh,
so
no problem.
I nod to Gruda like. So I nod to Gruda like. Just give her a nod with my head, and then I walk forward. I walk towards a Grineer soldier.
Alright, let's see if any of these bugs know what's going on around here.
alright.
One of you bark at them, would you?
The Grineer soldier you approach, actually already looking towards you. She's not quite as like heavily armored as Grudavon. She doesn't seem to be like a heavy or bailiff like she is, but she's also not as attractive as Gruda. She's disfigured, your typical kind of Grineer female. Your typical kind of Grineer female. It actually looks
I
like
rate this Grineer a 4 out of...
It actually looks like she's seen a fair share of battle with such. Scar tissue, things like that. She looks directly at Grudavon and says in a very high-pitched, raspy voice that I'm not going to try to do for the sake of everyone around you. Rashwood, sister, it is good to see your arrival. And then, Keen and Jad, you see her eyes sort of glance at Driek real fast, and then over at Sarkin, and she visibly scowls at Sarkin. She is very clearly not happy to see you. I
give her the double thumbs up.
She completely ignores your gesture.
Usigar.
She completely... By speaking her language, you actually have prompted her scowl to drop deeper. She looks a bit riled up by your action, but she...
I grin widely.
She fights to ignore you. She fights to ignore you, just looks back at Gruda. I see the others are with you. You will be wanting to speak with Captain Veril IV. I am Rakla. I am here to take you to him at once.
All right.
I follow her then.
Yeah, but before I start to follow her, I approach her like. I look at Sarkin and I look back at her and I say, so you do have a distaste for the corpus. I hear they've already been here, and I start approaching her like I start signaling her to approach me also.
She doesn't move towards you.
Are you already hitting on someone?
She doesn't move towards you. She kind of eyes you skeptically, but she answers your question. Yes, the other greedy milk fools arrived some time ago. Representatives of Lux. Representatives of Luxor Nanocomposites, I believe. You may speak with them as well, but they've already spoken with 4. They will not be present for the meeting.
Sarkin clicks his tongue. I thought I smelled grumpy old farts.
She...
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. I wasn't going to say anything. Go on ahead.
I just approach her and like turn a bit to the side, just to make sure the others don't hear. And I'm like, and I say, we're in a race here. If there's anything you know about the situation, I need to know exactly what the corpus knows already. So, yeah, just giving a heads up.
But the Belgar doesn't know anything. Let's go talk to the big dog.
Rakla shoots another glare at you, Sarkin. Very, very much venomous. If looks could kill, you might have just got a little bruised there. She looks back at Driek and she says, Captain Ford will be able to answer your questions better than I, but I will keep that in mind.
You see?
Alright, so
if you will follow me then. And she starts to walk off towards the main command building.
Driak just sighs and goes on.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, you walk...
Gruda isn't paying attention to any of this. She doesn't care. She just wants to get on with it.
Alright, yeah, you trudge across the courtyard, enter into the rather large portcullis doors, dead ahead, just about dead ahead from where your ship touched down. The tunnels are appropriately cramped for a Grineer settlement type thing. Very haphazardly put together in traditional Grineer style. You ascend like a staircase or something and get into a rather spacious sort of command room. Glass on the far side. Grineer monitoring a number of consoles and whatnot around the room. And in the, at the far end, looking dead out of the window, down at the colonist settlements, far below, stands this massive, hulking Grineer male. He's armored in typical arid Grineer, tans and browns. He's got a bit of a poncho-looking thing going on. The hood pulled up over his helmet, the tattered robes and cloaks, he's kind of hanging off of him. Rakla approaches, bangs a fist on her breastplate and salutes and announces it, and
Might I
says,
interject?
Okay. You interject before she can speak?
I would like to, at this point, I would like to vanish the point, and then move move between the window and the very large Grineer, then rematerialize and say, surprise!
Okay, hold on a moment here. Okay,
There we go.
let's roll your stealth. Let's roll your stealth skill here real fast and see exactly how successful you are doing it. I'll give you a, if you can manage one success for that, I'll allow it.
Mm-hmm. So I just have to roll under my dexterity stealth.
Yeah, have to roll at least 5 points under
Dexterity
your
plus
stealth
Oh,
value. Out of a D100.
Okay, dexterity is... Right, dexterity is 30, stealth is 20, so I have to roll a 45 or under on this D100. Here we go. Yeah, I'm the best.
Okay. I'm not even going to try.
You wrecked it.
I'm not even going to try. I need to get better clicking through this. I'm not even going to try contest that with his perception. There is no way he can match it. You appear out of basically the ether in front of him. Yeah, but
Hey, what you looking at?
he seems to take. He takes like about a quarter step back. He's clearly shocked to see your presence, but all he really does is sort of scowl at you. You must be the Black Seed representative. He.
Oh well,
pretty much.
You are very
promises.
observant for a Grineer. Did the large oval on my forehead give it away?
He. Not pleased with the joke. He frowns at you. It's not the same kind of looks you've been getting from Rakla, and you can easily tell that, but he just sort of turns around and looks at Rakla. You were supposed to announce their arrival. Rakla sort of bows. Forgive me, Captain. These are the ambassadors from the Council and the Black Seed. She motions you to step forward, Gruda and Driak. Sort of introduce yourselves to him.
Well, before any of that, Gruda says to Sarkin, has the Corpus come to audit or play games?
Well, Corpus want to audit me. I have a little from both columns.
Just give a stern look to Tarkin and move in front of them and say, My name is Inquisitor Driek. You may know me already.
Gruda Vaughn, she introduces herself.
Sergeant Bays, at your service. I give a very deep mocking bow.
Four looks over his shoulder a bit at you, then turns back to the other two. Your presence is not needed here, he says, very bluntly. I want you to go back on your ship and leave.
Okay, I will do that right now. I vanish again.
He does.
Alright,
Rekla see.
I think it's time that I took a wander around their base.
Alright, yeah. Rekla looks a bit. Perturbed by your sudden vanishment. She bows and excuses herself and wanders off. Gruda, Driek, how would you react to this denouncement?
Can I trip her as she tries to leave the room while I'm invisible?
Well, Driek knows his black seed, so he doesn't care, because he knows he's not completely aligned with the Corpus Ghost. So he just goes,
I don't know what group, like...
I meant to the,
Who is confused?
Confused? You want to perhaps,
Yeah,
Huh? You want to perhaps ask Ford why he's saying this about you, especially about you, perhaps, Garuda? Why you aren't allowed here?
Yeah, like I was under the impression that we were...
He stands up a bit straighter and crosses his arms. The Council believes I need a nanny to watch over my shoulder and assume I can get the job done, only with help from them. He snarls. I am the captain of this base, and I will stop whatever threats approach it. You and your council lapdogs aren't needed.
Okay, so at this point, I just cross my arms and approach him, and I say, I know you can handle this base, and I know you can handle the situation. I know what I've been sent here for, but to be frank, I do not care about it. I do not care at all. What I do care about is the investigating everything I can see and everything I can report to the Empire. So let's just cut a deal right here. You do your thing, I do my thing, and we just don't stand on each other's ways. How about that?
Give me...
Is there like a...
Say what?
That would be diplomacy, I think, wouldn't it?
You don't... Yes, that would very much be diplomacy.
And I do not think I have that skill.
No, you...
Oh, right.
Yeah, you don't have enough to... Yeah, you don't have enough to it.
I have bluff, though.
You do. That doesn't
Charisma
quite
straight,
apply to this situation, however. Let me check Gruda's chats.
Yeah.
Okay, Gruda's got some points in it.
Yeah, you have to lie to him.
What was that now?
I was just saying you have to lie to him to use. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
No, it's just I'm saying lie to them. Yes.
No,
Yes,
I
Sarkin
have
meanwhile is
something else I
invisible
wanted
and
to
whispers
do,
in
but
your
it's
ear.
okay.
You should totally lie to this guy. Go on, you're probably great at it.
I look at him in a look that says, like, don't worry, I got this.
You just looked at the thin air, right? I'm not.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
he's sort of looking at you,
just messing
kind of
around.
talking and kind of grunts. Like he's not at all surprised you're apparently mad. So Gruda,
Yes, now he
sorry,
thinks you're crazy. Good job.
You have some points to diplomacy.
So just to know, should I roll charisma or not?
With the let me check your charisma again, here real fast. But I don't think, yeah, no. With the penalties for rolling without any points in diplomacy, you get there's not much of a chance you'll be able to manage it. However, you know, in this instance, if Gruda wants to maybe collaborate your story or something, trying to help you out in Four's eyes, I will let you kind of add your charisma and whatnot together.
My charisma's
I was
not
actually
good.
waiting for him to decline my offer, but it's okay. I was gonna continue talking after that, but it's okay if he wants to.
My charisma's not good.
No, but you do. But you guys do have. But you do have a diplomacy of 5, so in total that.
So that's still like a 10, though.
Yeah, so 10, and combined with
Like,
his.
it's not gonna...
Combined with his 11, that's 21. That could be something.
Sort of.
Well, I could just rematerialize and say, "It's okay, boss man. We are not here to cause trouble for you at all." And that, of course, is a bluff. And my charisma is 19. My bluff is 10. That's 29.
May I interject?
Yes.
As he says that, I just uncover my void key from behind my cloak and go, "Oh, he's not here to cause you trouble. But what you're doing is high treason."
He is taken aback. He is taken aback by this a little bit. He's not happy. And it's very clear on his face that he is furious with your accusation of him betraying the Empire and the Queens. I live only to serve my people,
this room.
he says.
So do I get a intimidation check?
No, with that, he's just flat out. When you say it like that, he's just had enough of what you're saying. If you and your council want to stay, he sort of grimaces and grumbles to himself as he kind of turns away. You are free to look around the colonist base, but get in the way of my soldiers, and you will regret it. At that point, he just walks back up to in front of the windows. Reckless sort of walks up to you and kind of motions for you to leave.
I cover my key again and go, "Okay, very well." And I turn my back and walk away.
Gruda is beginning to regret letting everyone else do the talking.
This is sort of your home affiliates, Gruda. These are area constabulary Grenier. You might have a bit more of a reputation with them if you try to help out a little bit. But yeah.
Look,
so
I was just going to lie to him a bunch, and it was going to work perfectly. But then we got with the treason and and then the, Grenier. But of course, you know a lot about it.
Gruda mentions that she'll keep a closer eye on these two.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, are we still in the boss man's presence? Is he still here?
Nah, you guys are walking away. Groot is speaking directly to him. He overhears, kind of glances over his shoulder, and nods at you. At that point, Rakula just finishes escorting you all out of the room. You're
That's all I had to say.
basically in the hallway. Basically in the hallway right before the door closes behind you. She says to you, accommodations. I can't keep accommodations have been made for you below the base. You will find your rooms. He kind of glances at Sarkin. Adequate.
Oh, really? I respond, I am sure I will. Let's see, my bluff at 39.
Gonna try and bluff on that? Okay.
Hey, I successfully bluffed that I'm sure I will definitely like those rooms.
Okay, like, you don't really need to do that.
I wanted to make the roll. Stop me rolling dice.
Yeah, there's been a surprise.
Stop having fun!
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Rekla kind of looks you up and down. She's not quite sure to make out of what you just said. She's not fully believing you here, but you seem to put something in her head here. She sort of salutes to Grudavon especially, though Dryak also seems to be in her kind of field of view and attention when she does, for the queens. And then she kind of turns and walks away. You guys kind of have a...
I nod my head.
Yeah, okay. So you guys kind of left to have about full roam of the base. You can all kind of get the impression that probably it's a good idea to sort of hang around the command center without expressly having been summoned there or having a good reason to be there. But you guys can look around, sort of talk to some of the people you find.
Okay, so what other areas are there on this base that we could potentially go to?
There's the Armory. There are... It's not quite like a waiting room of any kind, but it is sort of a place where the emissaries sort of collaborate. It's similar to the command room, but it's also overlooking the colonist base, but it's more just a hallway with a glass window on one end than anything. It's not much in the way of, like, comfort or waiting seats or anything. Of course, there's still the training grounds and whatnot, and there's a bit of there's also a lift that would take you down to the colonist homes if you so decide to head down there.
I'm interested in what else there is in the base.
Well, there
Is
was
it just the command center, the waiting room, and the barracks, or?
Yeah, it's it's fairly bare bones. You can always look for some particular people if you want. You know for a fact, Sarkin, that both a Corpus ambassador whose name you don't know and the Black Seed representative, Yolan Tao, are around the base, so you can check, you can sort of look around for them if you want. You definitely recognize, pretty much you recognize them both right off the bat, just because of how out of place they would look. Yeah, so generally, what is you're interested in sort of doing right now?
Well, Gruda's not the type to come up with a plan. She's generally just going to look for the nearest suspicious thing and intimidate the fuck out of it. Sorry, am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
Warframe's a rated R game. I think everyone sort of knows what they're getting into for this.
R is not a game rating.
Whatever. Whatever.
Like, that's a movie thing.
Well, that should be a Warframe movie, too. I'm just saying. Okay, so Sarkin's actually splitting off from the group right now. He kind of wanders off,
Yeah, so
I think.
yeah, so you sure you wanna do that?
Well, what, are you doing anything scintillating right now?
No, I don't care about the high command. I'm rather just ask around.
All right. Okay, so let's. That was you, King, saying you just want to ask around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Grun, are you gonna follow along with Driak, or just sort of, kind of just sort of?
I'll follow along. Let me.
All right. So
Look. So, is it perception, or is there some kind of investigation scheme?
no, not investigation on its own per se, but if you guys just want to look around for a bit, you probably stumble across someone who looks a bit more important than your average Grineer Lancer or Hellion or whatever.
Actually, knowledge local would probably be the thing.
Ah, yes, actually, yeah, you're completely right.
I don't have that, but somebody might.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I do. But I've wandered off.
Yeah, you're one guy with information on the area has wandered off, but, let's just say, Drake, let's just say you sort of wander around and look around for a little bit.
Yeah, there's a specific thing I wanted to do, if I may.
Mm-hmm. So what?
I wanted to identify the ruins, if they are indeed Oricon or not.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and maybe start heading down, heading down to the colonies. Maybe get a closer look, or maybe just sort of get another vantage point from afar to sort of study it.
Yeah, I just, because you mentioned before that the ruins engraved into the stone may be Oricon, I just wanted to make sure. My character wanted to make sure. First of all, before he started asking around.
All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and just say that you kind of make your way to the other vantage point area. So while you're heading there, let's take it back. Is Gruda hanging with Sarkin, or is she still with you?
I don't know. Is she trying to follow me right now?
I'm not sure. The icon was kind of moved.
Okay, who's going to the ruins?
I am. I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I think she's going with Sarkin.
Okay, you're not going with me. You are attempting to follow me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Sarkin's vanishing and disappearing all over the place. Let's
Oh,
yeah, let's actually get another
dexterity stealth opposed with.
yeah, perception here. Gruda's perception against your stealth.
Okay, so let's see. My stealth, dexterity stealth. So this is dexterity stealth.
Yeah, both of them added together.
Perception.
All right, so I have that's a 50 in total in my dex stealth. Here's the dice. Oh, come on!
No,
I'm
that's
being very sneaky.
I think I still fail though, because that's. Let me look.
Okay, so what's your what's he rolling? Wisdom, perception, or something?
yeah,
My perception is 18 total. With
yeah,
wisdom.
yeah. You
So that doesn't quite make it, but it.
Do you have perception as a skill?
yes,
Yeah, I got 10 in it.
All right, so you still fail less than I fail.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, Gruda Vaughn manages to basically
He's like,
see
where are you going?
Yeah, sees you sneaking away, drags
Yeah,
along.
my brilliant disguise seems to have failed.
Your brilliant disguise of air. And
Oh no, I've been doing things with my icon. Just zoom in on that.
Oh!
Get a
Oh,
good
yes, you
line
have,
of it.
actually.
I get it.
Groucho V, apparently. So, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, you two kind of
my
won.
plastic
Go on.
there's my plastic pair of spectacles, nose, and mustache. Don't fool anyone.
No, not at all,
That would be
unfortunately.
disguise, not
You
stealth.
get very odd looks
No,
from
I'm
the
terrible
Grenier
at
you
disguise.
pass. You get very odd looks from the Grenier you pass. So you said you were looking for someone in particular here?
Who, me?
Yeah, you said you were going to be looking around for maybe
Or-
other Grenier or something. I think you said. You're going to...
Check the Roll20 chat.
Oh.
I sent you a PM.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Yes, let's see, what are you at here? Can you... Now, yeah, after just a little bit of searching around, you spot a rather curious-looking Grenier. He's not big and bulky like a soldier, like an average lancer or anything. He's a bit more lean, a bit sort of lightly armored. He's in many respects kind of like Driek, but he has these vials and canisters sort of strapped to his body. He seems to sort of be alone himself, looking around, he kind of looks like he's going somewhere. You want to approach him and
Now
speak,
let's see.
or
Why would I want to speak to a Grenier? Now, let's see. What skills do I have here? Muscle perception, perform. Empathy, etiquette, heal, intrusion. Contacts, diplomacy. What would I have to roll to try and steal one of his vials?
that would that is a good question. I think. Let me take a look. I think that would be subterfuge. No, hold on. What do I have listed with subterfuge as? Gotta learn the rules of my own game.
Yes, dexterity subterfuge.
What do class skills do again?
You get one reroll per session.
Yeah.
I get one what?
Reroll.
Oh,
So, like, yeah.
sick. Radical.
Yeah, that would be subterfuge here.
Okay, so that's 35 in total. My dex subterfuge. Here we go. Oh, why am I
So
doing that?
subterfuge is int. Actually.
I'll give you a yeah, for the sake of thing, that's just one success and you'll succeed at this.
So am I rolling dex subterfuge or int subterfuge?
It's int.
Yeah.
Yeah, this. Well, wait, maybe that's not the right thing then. Oh, just give it. No, just give it another stealth roll. And...
Oh yeah, okay. Another stealth roll it is. I've got to roll in 50 then. Come on, damn it!
No. You approach him and he turns around to sort of look at you. He looks you up and down and he smiles. His teeth are rotten, yellow, and definitely not all of them are there. Ah, you must be the Black Seed representative. I am Tortul. And with that, let's take our first break here real fast.
He looks what?
So what? I'm saying he looks right at you.
He looks like what?
He...
Yeah.
Okay. Rotten face, he smiles at you, red teeth and everything like that. Introduces himself as Tortul, and let's take our first break of the night here. We will be back in about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Alright.